Good afternoon. Phil Lindeman with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93. The FIRC and town of Breckenridge are about to pen one of the cheapest land leases in Summit. Breck Town Council last night approved first reading of a $10 lease for 1 acre of land, good for the next 75 years. That $10 plot is on the McCain property at the north end of Airport Road. It will soon be home to FIRC offices, thrift store, and a food pantry, and a long-awaited nonprofit campus. Colorado Mountain College is one step closer to building student housing in Breck. Town officials strongly support those plans for a 3-story building with 24 studios and 12 two-bedroom apartments. It goes on the far end of the Breck campus parking lot by the Denison Placer Apartments. Breck also gave the tentative green light to a privately funded workforce housing project just north of town known as the Entrada Housing Development. That project comes from Breckenridge Grand Vacations. But first, the town needs to annex the land. That could happen as soon as next month. Frisco homeowner Andy Richmond wants to change the town's cabin code, but not just for him.
Make it easier for people like me, people who don't want to make $1 million, who just want to build a house to live in and have neighbors that are locals.
Frisco's cabin code was written to protect mountain character through smaller, more affordable homes.
Make the code work for people like us instead of people who want to build a 4,000 square foot home.
But Don Reimer with the town says it's not exactly worked that way.
The typical developer, at least nowadays, would say, okay, well, I'd rather build a 4,000 square foot house rather than have 2 small houses because they'll get a heck of a lot more money out of the 4,000 square foot home.
Council did deny Richmond's request, but they are considering a bigger solution. Councilman Rick Ankin.
We obviously have some good code and we have some code that could use some work. So I think the workforce housing overlay is a tool that we can apply going forward.
Details on that overlay zone are pending. Coming to Frisco this summer is paid parking at Frisco Bay Marina and tickets for parking more than 3 hours on Main Street. New marina manager Logan Snyder.
I think there's going to be some growing pains where people are, they're getting used to it. It's kind of grumbly that they don't want to pay, but Colorado is growing so much.
Council is still hammering out details for parking season passes. Some think they should only be sold to slip holders. Mayor Hunter Mortensen disagrees.
Carving things out for slip holders or boat owners, I think it's the people's park. It's for everyone down there. They've got no special rights just because they have a boat.
The parking program is managed by Interstate Parking. That's the same company working in Breck, Crested Butte, and more. This week on the State of Summit.
It's not a construction plan, it's a vision for the future.
That was Craig Simpson, manager for the Dillon Marina, explaining how the town's marina master plan will take the waterfront into the future.
It's a delicate balance of trying not to interrupt guest experience, trying to keep the place open and functioning, and being able to pull off, significant construction projects.
Dillon has already committed $2.1 million to the first improvements, installing a fuel station on shore and replacing the rental dock this summer.
From the outside, people may scratch their head a little bit and wonder why we're doing this. That infrastructure is just incredibly important.
Future plans call for a renovated marina office, new launch ramp, seawall improvements, and this.
We can move forward with a new restaurant or a structure that's tied into infrastructure that could operate year-round. That's a big desire.
Simpson assures you the Tiki Bar will not disappear, but this could be a fancier addition.
A little more higher end, or maybe a multi-use building, perhaps even a small conference center.
Even further into the future is a shoreline boardwalk with sidewalks and food, and a parking structure where the existing parking lot is. Tune in again next Wednesday for the State of Summit on Krystal 93. In sports, the Avalanche play the Kings tonight at 7:30. And in local sports, brought to you by Red Mountain Autos at their new location in Breckenridge. Summit High Boys Lacrosse is down at Holy Family today. Track and field is in Northglenn. Phil Lindeman with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93.